Welcome to another episode of Salon Life. With WhatSalon, everything you need to run, manage, and grow your salon business. This is Salon Life.
Welcome to another episode of Salon Life with WhatSalon. Today we have Keith Harris with us, and Adam Turner will be co-hosting with me. Keith Harris is a renowned salon, session, and red carpet stylist who has worked in London, Milan, and Los Angeles. A diverse and award-winning career, which was cut short due to illness, Keith has reignited his career using social media. A self-confessed dinosaur, hope he doesn't mind me saying that.
No, my son told me.
Oh, okay, I had it all wrong. So not self-confessed at all.
I refuse to accept that.
Okay, we're backtracking there. But coming into Instagram at a later date, Keith very quickly realized the importance of social media as a platform to showcase his past catalog and used his Instagram account to launch a brand new career for himself. He's a master of reinvention, really an inspiring man. He's just spoken to us at the Salon Summit and everybody's totally inspired. Keith, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolute pleasure.
So you've been in the hairdressing industry for 40 years and you've had some journey. Could you tell us a bit about you and how you got into the hairdressing industry and the journey to where you are today?
It's 40 plus years, but I stopped counting.
We'll just say 40.
All right, thank you, very kind. I've been down at 15 years of age. I was an apprentice at Vidal Sassoon at the Grosvenor House in Park Lane, Mayfair. And basically, you know, I've always been in love with pretty girls, and that hasn't stopped. And the fact that you can actually work with beautiful women, and your job is to make them that little bit more special.
Yeah.
That is such a sense of achievement for me when it works. And if I had to put it into one phrase, that's probably it. That's what inspires me. And the point is, obviously I worked in salons for a lot of years at Sassoon, Trevor Sowerby and Aldo Coppola in Milan. But the thrill for me is it in the studio, pictures, because every hairdresser listening to this will have done a client, done a beautiful haircut, a beautiful blow dry, and thought, as that lady walks out the shop, if only I should have a record of how brilliant I was that minute.
Yeah.
I remember it from my salon days, you'd do a great haircut on a great looking woman or a great looking boy.
Yeah.
I wish I'd get a picture of that. Well, the beauty for me is over 35 years, everything I've done has basically been recorded. So looking back, as you said, you know, on the back catalogue, you know, trying to come back after being unwell, etc. When you start looking at stuff from 30 years ago and it still stands up.
That's amazing.
I'm very proud.
That's amazing. It's timeless.
And even as you saw today, you know, people looking, when I tell them this picture's 24 years old, they're like,
it could be taken today. Yeah. It's art, incredibly beautiful.
Amazing. Imagery. That's what I've aspired to do. So.
And you kind of aspired to do that even before anything like Instagram came into the picture.
Oh, absolutely, because having worked obviously at Sassoon was the innovator, with Trevor who took on that mantle, and then Aldo Coppola in Milan, who from the late 60s was the greatest hair stylist ever. I'm not talking about necessarily his hair cutting, but to put him in the studio, and the fact that we work with everyone from Helmut Newton to David Bailey and every other photographer you can think of. And Aldo was working with, Aldo worked with Giorgio Armani from 1963.
Seriously?
And when I lived in Milan, I worked on all the Armani shows. I even had lunch with Giorgio Armani. I didn't know he was.
Oh, so then you...
No, that shows how ignorant I am, everybody.
That's amazing.
We all have those moments.
Yeah, a bit like you with Benetton.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. Like,
sorry that we're getting personal. Yeah.
Off the podcast, Adam didn't know who Benetton was, and so now it's kind of a playback here.
I'm being schooled by Keith.
Leave him.
But just to backtrack, because Keith, I was saying to you before we started, I'm amazed that you're even here today, because you just had surgery, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, about 10, 11 days. Yeah.
10 days?
In Italy.
So do you just want to tell our listeners who aren't familiar just a little bit about your journey, because you were a successful hairdresser, the peak of your career, and then I'll let you continue.
Yeah, well, basically I was in New York, and I wasn't feeling very well with my throat. Saw 6 doctors over 6 months, 6 different doctors in 6 months with a throat problem. They all said there was nothing wrong. And then at last gasp, I got seen by the top throat surgeon, cancer surgeon in Italy, who told me I had 6 weeks to live. So I had to have surgery. I've been in the hospital in 36 hours, 11-hour operation, 8 surgeons.
Oh my God.
In the coma for 5 months, last rites twice. Anyway, here I am. We'll cut that long story right there.
Tough as nails.
Here I am. And I'm a ladies' hairdresser, everybody.
How long ago was that they said you had 6 weeks to live?
That was 8 years.
8 years ago.
8 years next month.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And I'm still there. And thank God, I just had this is my full fracture surgery on my chin. And at the moment, thank God, I'm cancer-free. So
thank God. That's fantastic.
I'm a very fortunate boy.
You are a fighter, like bionic man.
All that matters, it really is hair. As I just told the people earlier, you know, the 2 things that kept me going were my 2 sons, who I love dearly, Ryan and Jamie, and the thought of actually being able to do hair again. And I was in the hospital bed for 1 year, 17 days, staring at a wall. And the thing that kept me going was the thought that I should come back and do hair again and try and reinvent myself, because I would have to, because I wasn't a young boy no more. And so I was out of the game for 6 years.
Amazing. I actually loved that quote I saw on your website about if you stare into a blank wall long enough, you overthink everything until you have creative thoughts.
You drive yourself nuts.
But then how you turned it into a positive. And then just tell us, because you were basically on your deathbed, and then tell us how, and you said you were laid up for a year, so how you relaunched your career now.
Well, I think that's the whole Instagram thing. I was actually resting with some friends in Lago Maggiore in Italy, Lake Maggiore, as you would know. And they have a family hotel there. I was resting up, and they were both here. Well, my friend's hairdresser and his wife's a photographer, and they said to me, "Listen, you need to go on Instagram," which I'd never heard of. Hence the dinosaur.
I didn't say it.
And they said, "You need to go on Instagram." And I was like, "No, I don't. What's Instagram?" No, you do, because there's a whole new world. This is the new shop window, blah, 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 blah. Because before that, you had a portfolio and then you had a website, and that was it.
Yeah.
And when I went to hospital, I had the website, which wasn't such. So my friend and his wife, Michelle and Tiara, they put me on Instagram. So I was like Keith Harris here with 2 followers. And then I spoke to my son later that day, Ryan, and then I had 3 followers, and off we went. And they were I said, "But what am I supposed to put up?" And they said, "Well, you've got this whole library of your work that people would never have seen."
Yeah.
And basically that's how we started. So, it was amazing to see 100 followers, 200, 500, 1,000. And now I'm up to over 1,800, which I think is extraordinary.
Fantastic.
A point I wanted to make earlier that I forgot about. I'll tell you what I hate, if I may.
Do?
Is when you see these celebrity inverted commas hairdressers, or icons, as they like to be called, with their 35,000 plus followers. But when you look at the likes, there's like 15.
Right, they're fake followers.
But it just doesn't add up. And I just find that, why would someone's ego...
Yeah.
Why does everyone want to be like... I suppose it's a bit like America's Got Talent. Everyone wants to be a face. Everyone wants to do it overnight. No one's prepared to learn. The last time I spoke to Vidal, which was a long time ago, obviously, he said to me, "Tell me what's happening to the craft. What has happened to the art?" And I went, "Vidal, I'm trying." He sort of had me in the corner. It was heartbroken.
Do you feel that the craft of hairdressing has changed a lot?
Oh, I think we've lost so much of it.
Have you?
And I think we're in great danger of losing. I mean, I have friends in Australia, in America, in Italy, all over Europe, in England, Scotland. They're all telling me that they're really finding it tough to find young hairdressers who are prepared to go through the pain. Because you can't learn anything, right? And I sound like an old sod.
No.
But you really can't, whether you want to be a footballer, a golfer, an accountant, a lawyer, you have to learn the rules and the
takes
process.
work. Yeah.
Well, in our place, you have to learn the techniques, and you have to develop a feel and everything else.
So if you were to give words of insight to like upcoming hairdressers so that we could kind of raise the caliber of hairdressing today, what advice would you give?
Well, as Vidal says, you have to learn the industry. You have to learn the craft of doing it, the A to Z. And a lot of it's boring to learn, like pin curling. What could be more boring than pin curling hair? But I'll tell you something, one of the hairs that I do in my workshops is a head of pin curls. And it's over 2,000 years old, that technique. The percentage of hairdressers that can do it properly is about 0.5%. But when they see the results I can produce with 2019 hairstyles from the 2000,
I believe it.
It's very exciting.
So you think that across the industry there needs to be more focus on the basic building block skills to get to the more intricate styling?
And I'll tell you, I'll sum it up perfectly for you, right? This is the scary part, which everyone should be scared of. I have a mate of mine who will remain nameless. He has 11 sons in London. Very successful business. He told me 60% of the assistants can't even blow dry now. I said, what are you talking about? He went, well, they just rough dry and run the straight lines through it. And I said, but clients at home can rough dry and put the straight lines through it. I said to him, you need to kick some ass. And he just shrugged his shoulders. Well, that's a real concern.
That is a shame.
So where can the young, let's say for instance somebody's listening today and they say, okay, well, I'm going to take on what Keith's saying. Where can somebody go to really learn those skills now?
To be quite honest, I don't know the answer. I actually don't know the answer.
That's sad, isn't it?
It came with an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
That's what it came with.
So they should be learning it from their mentors.
That's exactly right. But if the mentors aren't capable,
yeah.
And you see, the other problem with this is me being a dinosaur again, the other problem with this whole modern Instagram, not Instagram, but the internet, it's just the modern age. Everybody wants something for nothing, and they all want it yesterday, and everyone wants to be a star. So no one seems to be prepared to dig in.
To do the work.
There's probably, in fact, the answer to it is probably Instagram. That's where you'll learn, because there are enough people putting stuff on. I think maybe that might be the way to lead. That's a perfect line for you. It's probably researching the internet, and that will come up with, like if you want to learn the Marcel wave or you want to learn the Fender wave, you have to believe that in the world someone is good enough to have recorded it properly. There's a lot of rubbish out there that I looked at. There's a lot of people showing bad techniques. But if you can pick your way through it, you know, I'm sure enough of the old great names will have done enough. I hope.
Am I right to paraphrase you a little bit? That, people are taking shortcuts now, and we need to rewind taking shortcuts
I think so.
and take the long route where we build on it properly, and the talent comes through, and the skill set's brought.
It's exactly the same as a chef. If you go to the Ritz for lunch, right, you dine like a king. All right, it's a fortune. But you understand what good food is, for example. Right? You can dive into McDonald's and you get satisfied, but that's the difference.
Yeah.
And it's like, everybody talks about lots of different industries, from football to Master Chef creating these fake chefs, etc. So I think it is across the board, definitely.
But interesting with hair, right? Everyone's got hair. Everyone's hair can be better than it is. But I can remember when I was at the barber, if I had a little bit of a problem, it was my hair. It wasn't his haircut.
Right, of course.
I mean, that's what your hair does. So we all go up going, oh yeah, but this is my hair. And it's not true. Any hair can do anything. And that's the hairdresser's challenge. And Vidal said the apprenticeship, which was 3 years as a contract, he said, you're an apprentice for 15 years. And I thought, well, I remember him saying that when I was 16. And I thought, well, that's a bit harsh. He said, when you get to 15 years as a hairdresser and you're a proper hairdresser, you control the hair. When you look at a bad hairdresser, and he said, which is the majority the hair controls the hairstyle.
That's very good.
Right
We
line.
need more hairstylists like you in the world.
That's a great
So
line.
going back to that, who is somebody that you've mentored through that you're very proud to have worked with and passed on your skill set to? Is there anybody in particular that you...
I've got a boy at the moment, one of my boys in Italy, a boy called Simone Tomasini. He's just come back from Monte Carlo last week doing fashion with Alberta Ferretti, who you probably have never heard of. Alberta is up with Armani, Prada. She's probably the top Italian fashion designer, female, and has been for 20 years. And he's just been working with Alberta Ferretti, but he works with Armani, he's doing all the big shows.
Fabulous.
And he was one of my boys.
That's great.
But he was very young. And he came to one of my seminars, and he was so arrogant.
Was he?
And he was so rude, and he was so superior, and I wanted to punch him, but you're not allowed to punch him.
Isn't that crazy?
You're a hairdresser. So listen, I did a seminar, and he was doing this head of hair that he thought was great, and I just stepped in and I did 2 touches to it, and his chin dropped, and he had a moment. It wasn't me showing off. I showed him what was right, and it was beautiful to see that he got it.
Yeah.
And from that moment, he became a different person, and we're like that now. And
Amazing.
When I went back to
amazing.
Milan for the first time when I was recovering, I did a shoot for Tatler Hong Kong, a bridal shoot out on the streets of Milan with the buses and the cabs. This was only 8 months ago. And Simone came down to assist me for the day. It was beautiful.
Nice.
It was beautiful because he's a top boy though, but he came with a lot of respect and a lot of love, and we had a terrific day together. That was lovely.
Fabulous.
It's good to see that you're sort of still passing those skills on.
I'm trying to pass them on to myself.
So what does a typical day look like for you now?
Oh, I get up about 2:30 in the afternoon, have my tea. No, I mean, there is no typical day. I mean, obviously, I'm trying to work the game. I'm never going to get back to where I was because it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And I'm now the wrong side of 60, which is very scary. My thing, and if I can't use this word, you can take it off. I'm not going to be rude to it, but I'd like to be the first old sod who can make a comeback and actually make a difference from a pure hairdressing point of view. Not spill, not hype, not bullshit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But with the hair that I do, with the new pictures that I'm putting out now, and my No Limits tour, hopefully, that we're going to do, I just want to make an impression and set another standard that people hopefully aspire to. That's what keeps me going.
It seems you've done that already, doesn't it?
So, yeah.
Well, I'm trying. I am trying. I mean it. You know.
I think we're out of time, but Keith, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you all for joining us for another episode of Salon Life. And go
one
ahead.
more thought. My final thought, if anyone's still listening, it's an oldie but a goodie. Suffer for your art, or you won't move forward.
I love that. Suffer for your art or you won't move forward. I love that. Great words to end on. And so join us again next week
Thank you.
another episode of Salon Life.
This was another episode of Salon Life with WhatSalon. Visit our site at whatsalon.com for more episodes.